Hello everyone. I'm sure we all know the story of the Ramayana. But do you think Sage Valmiki wrote 24,000 shlokas of the Ramayana just for the purpose of entertaining people? No, obviously he wouldn't do that. There has to be a deeper meaning. That meaning lies within the characters, not in the story. So let me take you on this wonderful journey of exploring the characters of our great epic, the Ramayana. So let's start with our first character, King Dasaratha. King Dasaratha was born in the Solar dynasty and was the son of King Aja and Queen Indumati. He was a brave and able warrior. He had 3 wives, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. They were the embodiment of virtue, culture, and beauty. All of them had great reverence for the lotus feet of the Lord. Dasaratha's original name was Nemi. Once an invincible demon, Shambhara, conquered the heavens. At the request of the gods, Nemi destroyed the armies of the demon in the heavens. Shambhara assumed 10 forms and attacked him from 10 points at the same time. King Nemi confronted the 10 Shambharas and killed all of them. The gods then gave him the name Dasaratha, one who is capable of driving a chariot to 10 points at the same time. King Dasaratha ruled over the kingdom of Kosala from his capital city of Ayodhya. King Dasaratha did not have a son for a long time, so he performed the Putra Kameshti Yajna and was blessed with 4 sons. The 3 queens raised the 4 princes with equal love and without partiality. The boys shared a rather brotherly devotion. Rama and Lakshmana were inseparable. So were Bharata and Shatrughna. As the princes grew up, they were trained in the arts of warfare and archery, and the Vedas and the Shastras. King Dasaratha was delighted in seeing his sons grow up to be strong, intelligent, and noble princes. Thus passed 16 happy years. One day, Ayodhya had a surprise visitor, sage Vishwamitra. King Dasaratha was welcoming the sage with due respect. Vishwamitra was very pleased and said to the king, "You are the very embodiment of Dharma. A king's Dharma is to protect the sages. I am performing a sacrifice with my disciples, but we are greatly troubled by demons like Subahu and Maricha. I want you to send your brave son Rama to protect my yajna." Dasaratha was very worried. He loved Rama and was afraid of putting his young prince in dangerous situations so early in his life. Sage Vaishishta, Dasaratha's Kulaguru, advised Dasaratha to obey Vishwamitra's wishes. Dasaratha listened to his guru and gave his blessings to both his sons and sent them with Vishwamitra. Rama and Lakshmana protected the sage and killed the demons. They even went on to Mithila, where Rama won the hand of Sita. When Dasaratha heard the happy news, he set off with his retinue to meet his sons at Mithila. He gladly gave his consent to the marriage of Rama and Sita. Rama's 3 brothers were also married to Sita's sister and cousins. Thus Dasaratha and his queens were happy to see all their children happily married. Their home was full and their hearts satisfied. As King Dasaratha was getting old, he realized he had to appoint his Yuvaraja, also known as the Crown Prince. In front of his entire court, he summoned Rama and announced the news. He advised Rama on his future duties as a king. Rama accepted this with equanimity and listened to his father's advice humbly. However, King Dasharatha's decision to make Sri Rama as his Yuvaraja was not fully welcomed by everyone. Kaikeyi, his youngest wife, had listened to the evil advice of her maid, Mantara. When the old king came to her chambers in the night, he met a most unhappy wife. Kaikeyi had taken off her jewels and was lying on the floor with a tear-stained face. Full of concerned surprise, Dasharatha said, "What is wrong, my dear? Is there anything I can do to make you happy?" She then dropped her bombshell. She said, "Several years ago, you gave me 2 boons when I saved you during your war with Shambara. I did not redeem them, as I did not lack for anything then. You must fulfill those 2 boons now. For one, I want my son Bharata to be crowned as the king, and now Kaushalya's son, Rama. For the next boon, you shall exile Rama to live in a forest for 14 years. Dasaratha was shocked. He couldn't believe his ears. What a strange turn of events this was. He could not bear the thought of sending his beloved son to the forest, and he immediately fainted. What happens the next morning, we will see in our next audio. Thank you all for listening to the analysis of the Ramayana characters. Jai Sriman Narayana.